All right, we're here with Brian, the owner of Salt and Light Wellness. I thank you once again for having me. I appreciate you just for letting me pick your brain and just being able to give me an opportunity in general, man. So grateful to be here. And I had a quick question about Salt and Light in general. So what was your real motivation to start Salt and Light, and what problem were you trying to solve during this process?
Well, man, not to get too heavy too fast, but you asked a loaded question, so I got to answer honestly. So I've always had probably since young adulthood, kind of a slant against, you want to call it Western medicine, pharma, that sort of thing. When I was 20, my dad passed away from a prescription drug overdose. So he had a car accident when I was young, bunch of bad surgeries. So it was like a lot of bad experience with bad surgeons that made things worse. And so basically the best solution was, well, the solution they gave, not the best solution, but the solution was, here's some pain meds, here's more pain meds, here's more pain meds. And so obviously every man is, he has his own, he make his own choices. And so certainly, my dad's not exempt from like, oh, everything happened to him and he was just the victim. But the reality is that some people, I mean, when you want to talk about people having demons, I think drug addiction can be one of those demons, And so seeing that and seeing like, man, there's one road to go down that just leads to worse and worse health. Like it's like you're on this cycle of just health degrading, and there's a whole other avenue of health that's biologically fixing our body. Our body is just stuff. Like it's just material. It's just the laws of physics, the laws of biology apply to us. And so the things that built our body in the first place, they didn't go anywhere. It's just we're not using them right.
Exactly.
And so we have cells, we have mitochondria, we have proteins, we have all these different things, and if we can just get them in the right order, our body was designed to operate and function that way. And so that's our guiding ethic here, is that we just need a few things. The things that we don't cover movement and diet, but we certainly are big proponents of those. But we do think that one of the pillars of health is light, and getting exposed to healthy light. In that realm are things like salt, breathing in salt, exposure to cold. These pair very well with healthy light exposure. So that's our guiding ethic.
I love it. How often do you use these services?
Probably about 3 times a week.
Okay.
We're closed on Sundays, and so that's probably one of the days that I always consistently come in and bring the family in. It's one of those things where people are like, man, I would love to have a Salt and Light because I would be using the services all the time.
Yeah.
The sad thing is like, I want to go use the services all the time too, but I always get nervous while I'm in there. I can't relax because I'm like, I bet a guest wants to come in and use the services.
Exactly,
So I'm always
totally
I'm always like,
that,
I should probably get out. So I would probably do them more than 3 days a week, but I try to go after hours and that sort of thing.
Most definitely, man. Tell me more about the customer journey. What do you want people to experience when they come through Salt and Light? What's kind of your value prop?
Man, I just think that the easiest way to say it is that we help people heal. And that means something different to a lot of different people. An athlete like yourself, healing is probably, you're a healthy individual, so you might not have a chronic condition or anything like that, but for healing for you is, man, I just crushed it at the gym yesterday. I went hard leg day. I ran, you ran all day or whatever it was. Healing for you is recovery and making sure that you can get back on the court or you can get back in the gym a little bit faster and coming back strong. For somebody like me, I'm 40 years old, do jiu-jitsu, I still get after it. So for me, it's like, it is getting recovery, but it's also making sure that I can, compete with the young guys. I still can compete in open classes where, with the young bucks, the 25-year-olds, the 18-year-olds and stuff like that. And so I got to make sure that I'm tip-top at 40. How do I compete like I'm 20? But for other people, they might be, cancer in remission, wanting to make sure that they're detox. I was actually reading an email from a guest the other day. This is exactly her story without saying her name, but her cancer is in remission right now, and she's using the light therapies and specifically the detox and the sauna to make sure that her body has as little toxicity as possible, because her biggest fear is leaving her 2 daughters without their mom. And so when I get an email like that, the reality of what we're doing, this job is very, very fun, but the stakes are really, really high too. And so helping people heal and making sure people are in a state of healing is what we do. And that, again, is a broad thing for broad people, but at the core of it, helping people heal is life-changing.
Yeah, I love that. Now, kind of going into the entrepreneur piece, because, we both relate in the athlete sense, but I'm sure entrepreneurs could benefit from this a lot as well. If you could give advice to your 20-year-old self or somebody in their 20s, who has a lot of ambition, but not a lot of guidance, I would say, and just trying to figure it out piece by piece, what would you say? You could wrap that up.
I mean, the easiest way is surround yourself with like-minded people. I'm a Bible-believing Christian, and one of the codes of conduct in the Bible is to be equally yoked. Now, that can
Okay.
be in a relationship. If you're in a relationship with a woman and you guys have equal ambition, you know, being equally yoked, the person next to you, if we're driving a carriage forward or something like that, two oxen side by side, we need to be equally yoked. One oxen is stronger than the other, the yoke breaks.
Exactly.
And so when I'm surrounded by other men of equal ambition, that's why I like talking to you, man. It's very inspiring. It drives us forward. We
Yeah,
all
1,000%.
seek inspiration in different places. Now, I could be inspired to go do something that's self-serving and destructive to my lifestyle, because if that's the inputs I'm getting, to go party and just chase women and do all these things that are not ultimately going to lead to good fruit in my life, I'm gonna be subject to that. We're all impressionable, but when
Yeah,
I'm surrounded
100%.
with other heavy hitters, like-minded men that are chasing good, ambitious pursuits in life, I'm going to be driven to do that. And hopefully, I can learn to do what you're doing too. Is I'm constantly pushing myself is to ask more questions. If we can be inquisitive, like, I guarantee you have a lot of answers,
Yeah.
but for some reason you operate in a way where you ask questions, and so the guys that ask the questions, they have the
Questions.
power.
Yeah, most
It
definitely.
does. I mean, you ask questions, you have power, and I know you have answers, but continue, as many answers as you think you have, continue to ask questions.
Keep learning. Yeah, open-minded. I love
Yep.
that. Yeah. Now, last question about that. Going back to the athlete piece, as a business owner, how much do you appreciate athletes when they come in? Do you feel like that's a difference, and how does that kind of affect the game?
That's huge. I
Uh-huh.
mean, so for where we stand is we do have a lot of college athletes. We sponsor some college teams, some college sports. Now that is a huge component, because those are people that are just so clearly driven and they have
Yeah,
a goal.
100%.
But then again, you get to guys like in my category that are in the 40s, or even you're starting to see this emerging hobbyist culture of 60-year-olds that they're still skiing, they're still out, hiking,
Yeah.
they're playing pickleball, and they take, and maybe they were a college athlete, 20, 40 years ago or something like that, and they take their hobbies and their sports every bit as serious,
Very
and they
serious,
look
yeah.
to the college athletes of today. Like, those are the inspirational figures. So college athletes are legitimately inspiring 60-year-olds to
Yeah.
live their best life and
love that,
and
yeah.
live fully. And so I don't think college athletes, I think the default is, oh, I'm inspiring the next generation. I don't think they realize they're inspiring the generation ahead of them, because how cool is that to know that at 60 years old, life doesn't have to be a slow degrading process to death. Like, it's
Yeah,
not just like
100%.
every year is going to be worse than the last.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of 60-year-olds come in here and, like, I'm healthier at 60 than I was at 50. This is wild. And some of their inspirational figures are these March Madness is a time
Yeah,
where you see
yeah.
somebody who doesn't play basketball. His hobby is not basketball, but he watches
Yeah,
that,
all in.
and he's taking it to his thing. And he's like, dude, I just went out and hiked Mount Whitney after watching March Madness. It's like you wouldn't see the connection, but inspiration is all around us, and college athletes absolutely are inspiring generations coming and the generations that are ahead.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you. I want to say I appreciate your wisdom and appreciate you for being a good example for entrepreneurs and founders like me. So thank you so much, man.
God bless you, man.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
it up.
Likewise, likewise. Got it.